Hello, hello everybody, hello everybody, hello. Hello everybody and welcome to Story Time with me, Miss Anna. So lovely to see you all. Today's story is a local story. Now that means the story was written about the area where I live, the UAE. That is the country. And the author of our story is Amanda Abu Samra. Now, Amanda Abu Samra is not from the UAE. She grew up in Northern Ireland, but she lives in Abu Dhabi now. So she lives about 2 hours from where I am, and she wrote this story about the area Abu Dhabi, or the area where she is now in the UAE. And the title of the story is written in English, but it's also written in another language. Can I read it for you in English? The name of the story, The Young Pearl Diver. Oh, I've got my pearl on today. Look at that. I've got a pearl right there. And this story is about a pearl diver. How awesome. Now, in Arabic, I was reading it from left to right in English. But if you are reading in Arabic, you read from right to left, the other way around. How awesome is that? And she asked for all the words in the story to be translated into Arabic. So, if you are English or if you're Arabic, you can read this story. The Young Pearl Diver by Amanda Abu Samra. Can you see? Good. One sunny day, in the shallow port of Dalma Island, a beautiful wooden dhow floated from side to side. Its heavy anchor was resting on the seabed, and it would soon be ready to set sail into the crystal waters of the Arabian Gulf. Now, this, me and you would say a boat or a ship. But in the UAE, it's made from wood, and they call it a dhow boat. Dhow. Can you say that? Dhow. Very good. The Arabian Gulf is the ocean that is here where the UAE is. Abdullah was extremely excited because it was his first pearl diving experience. His father and his grandfather had been pearl divers for many years, and they had shared their amazing stories of adventure with him. So that is Abdullah. That is his dad, and that is his granddad. And dad and granddad were both pearl divers. As they climbed onto the wooden deck of the dhow, he felt the strong summer heat beat down on his shoulders. The weather was getting hot. His grandfather had always told him that the best time to pearl dive was from May to September, when the water was much warmer and the ocean was calmer. That is the hottest time in the UAE, May to September. Whew. For that alone, I think they're very brave. The heavy metal anchor was pulled up, and with a swoop of their mighty triangular sail, they were ready to commence their long adventure. They would be away from their home for 4 months and 10 days. This was the longest that Abdullah had ever been away from his mother and his sisters. So there's Abdullah with Dad waving to Mum and his sister. 4 months away from your mummy. Wow, he is so brave, this boy Abdullah. As the wooden dhow sailed and the salty waves splashed onto the deck, he couldn't believe his eyes. 2 beautiful grey dolphins were jumping up and down as if they were crashing through the waves and following them on their journey. He could feel the warm waves as they splashed around him and the cool sea breeze around his face, on his face. How awesome is that? There were 20 strong men on board the dhow, as well as young Abdullah, and each person had a very important job to do. There were 8 very brave pearl divers that had learned the art of pearl diving through many years of experience, 10 haulers that had the mighty task of pulling the divers up to safety, an apprentice that caught fish, cooked, cleaned and prepared coffee after a long day. The captain searched for the sweet and salty waters to find the most precious pearls. I think that's the captain. It looks like Abdullah's dad, doesn't it? So everybody has got their own job to do. Abdullah started to feel nervous as they approached their pearl diving site. He was 12 years old, and it was his first ever pearl diving experience. He wanted to make his father and grandfather very proud. That is still very young, isn't it? Yeah. Pearl diving was very dangerous. The brave, fearless divers would hold their breath for 3 to 5 minutes, diving down to about 10 meters deep. They would do this 5 times and then rest for only 5 minutes before they did it all again. This happened each day from the sunrise to the sunset. It's Abdullah's turn. Oh my goodness. It was time. The time he had been waiting for since he was a little boy. He clipped on his nose peg made of turtle shell, plugged his ears with soft wax, put on leather caps to protect his fingers from the unsuspecting coral, and tied the rope tightly around his waist. clinging onto the heavy-weighted rope that was attached to his ankle and placing all of his trust in the hauler, he heard, 3, 2, 1, go! Abdullah dived into the sea with a huge splash. He dived down and down with the help of the heavy stone. There's the stone, can you see, around his ankle to help him to go deeper down, because that's where he's going to find the pearls. Oh, there he is, underwater, holding his breath. Suddenly, on the shallow bank, he saw a cluster of bumpy oyster shells. One by one, he quickly placed them in his basket. With all of his strength, he tugged on the long rope, and he could feel himself being yanked up to the surface with enthusiasm and strength. Wow, looks like he got many. His basket is nearly full. Good job, Abdullah. As he got closer and closer to the surface, the water became warmer and he felt a huge sense of accomplishment. His first pearl dive. Look, he's got loads. Now I wonder how many of those will have a pearl inside them. After the sun started to sink into the sea, Abdullah quickly gathered all of the oysters he had collected. One oyster stood out amongst the others, and he quickly picked it up. Slowly, he began to pry it open with his small knife. There was something shiny, something bright inside. What do you think it is? A pearl, yeah? I think he's got one. Let's see. Ah, Habibi! To Abdullah's amazement, he picked out the most beautiful pearl he had ever seen. The moonlight reflected off the bright white symmetrical surface. He gasped. In shock, he yelled across the dhow in the calm, starry night, "Baba, Baba, come quickly!" He's calling for his dad. "Daddy, Daddy, come. Look. He got a pearl." Oh, wow. Abdullah's father's eyes shone with pride and he smiled. It was an amazing beginning to Abdullah's pearl diving journey. His Baba, his dad, is so proud of him, and I think Abdullah is proud of himself. The end. Oh wow, look, there's the dhows. Did you enjoy that story? Me too. I loved it. Thank you so much, Amanda Abu Samra, for a lovely story. Have a lovely week, you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.